It's summertime and there are bees and wasps out there, and if your pet is unlucky enough to get stung, this is Stewie. And Wawa's crazy about Stewie. Anyway, if your pets get stung, here's a natural remedy that's terrific. You take rubbing alcohol and a cotton pad, dab it on the sting, and then after that take a raw onion, slice it, or a raw potato, slice it, and press that against the sting, and you'll be amazed at how quickly it takes the swelling and relieves the pain. I'm not saying we're replacing vets. I'm saying by all means go to your vet, but you'll be very impressed with how helpful those two things can be. Okay, now we're going to move right along to natural light and summertime and how important natural light is. There are dogs who spend most of their lives in apartments and don't get to see the light of day almost at all. And those dogs don't fare as well as dogs that get to be out in the sunlight, because sunlight produces vitamin D. And vitamin D is essential for our production of calcium, for healthy bones, and just for a good, healthy metabolism. So if it's not possible to get your dog into fresh air and sunshine, then here's what you can do. You can actually buy something called full spectrum light and put that on the animal in the house, and it'll provide a wonderful solution. Remember, when animals don't get enough sunshine, you'll see behavioral problems, you'll see hyperactivity, you'll see irritability, and you'll see endocrine problems. You might have thyroid or adrenal problems, and you can even have skin disorders. You can have liver problems, infections, and tumors. So don't underestimate the value of sunshine. Now, having said that, we're going to move right along to too much heat in the summertime and heat stroke. And most of you know you would never leave your dog in a car with the windows open in the summertime. In Nevada, they did an experiment. It's 104 degrees there this one day, and they opened all the car windows, and they took the temperature inside the car, and it was 175 degrees. So remember, inside your car with the windows open, it's still a lot hotter. If you ever come across a dog that has been left in a car on a hot day and is not breathing or is not conscious, get the dog out of the car immediately, put it in some shade, get cold or cool water, and you want to keep running the cool water on the animal. If you have an ice pack, great. And if you don't have an ice pack, if you have wet towels, great. If you have rescue remedy, I'll tell you more about that some other time. A few drops on the tongue, that would help. And if the animal has stopped breathing, try artificial respiration. And I don't expect you to know how to do that right now, but I'm going to turn you on to our next video. And in the next video, Manny, who is a fireman here in Beverly Hills, actually teaches CPR, mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, for dogs and cats. And once you see that, I think you'll always be prepared in a real emergency. So, stay tuned. I'd like you to meet Fireman Manny. Fireman Manny teaches first aid and CPR for dogs and cats. And I know it really works because my very first dog, Spunky, died. And out of panic, I did CPR, and you know what? He came back to life. But Fireman Manny can teach us the right way to do it. I'm not so sure I did all the right things. So let's get started, okay?
Let's do it. First thing I'm going to demonstrate is determining the ABCs of the animal. That's airway, breathing, and circulation. Before you approach the animal, make sure the scene is safe. You don't want to put yourself into more danger and add another victim to the scene. The scene is safe, so I'm going to approach. For a medium-sized dog, we're looking at animals between 30 to 90 pounds. The CPR compression ratio is still going to be the same, 15 to 1, but we're going to go a little deeper. We're going to go about 1 to 2 inches for medium-sized dogs, and this is what it looks like. We're going to close the mouth. Because it's a medium-sized dog, we're going to breathe directly into the nose, and you only give as much air as needed for the chest to rise. Where the elbow touches the chest is where the heart is, and it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 and 12 and 13 and 14 and 15. and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10, 11 and 12, 13, 14, 15. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 and 12 and 13, 14, 15. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 and 12 and 13, 14, 15. You would continue with that ratio for about 2 minutes, then you want to reassess the animal. Where you're going to bend down, look, listen, and feel. If you have no breathing, if you have no heart rate, continue CPR. Make sure the head isn't too high up or too low down. You want to make sure that the airway is nice and clear. If you go ahead and administer another breath of air, and the lungs do not rise, we can assume that we can assume we have a choking, and there might be something lodged inside the animal's throat. If that was the case, I'll demonstrate it on the large dog. What we're going to do is we're going to keep the animal on its right side. We're going to position our hands underneath the rib cage, and we're going to give 5 thrusts, not on the ribs, but underneath the ribs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go ahead and raise the hind legs of the animal, only because this is a larger dog. We're going to position the head downward and give the animal a good shake to see if we can have gravity help us dislodge the item. After giving the animal a quick shake, we're going to look inside the mouth. If I don't see anything, I'm not going to stick my fingers in. I don't want to put the item deeper into the throat. So if you don't see anything, don't put your fingers in. If you see something, pull it out. So that's for a larger dog who is unconscious. If the dog was conscious, but choking, obviously choking, I could get behind the animal, put my hands underneath its ribs, and give 5 thrusts this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and bend the animal down. We continue this process until the object comes out, or the animal starts breathing on its own, or if the animal does become unconscious, then we reposition ourselves for the unconscious clearing of the throat. Once the object comes out, then we can go back to the animal, reassess. We're going to look, listen, and feel. Hopefully the animal's breathing on their own and the circulation's back. If not, we're going to go into rescue breathing and CPR mode.
Well, I want to thank you so much. CPR is not just for human beings, it's for our dogs and cats too. And I think what you have to teach us is going to save a lot of lives for our beloved pets. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.